Hello, bruvs. This is New Book Arrivals, I believe number 319. It's not very many books. I went to a sale that had, actually, there's one book missing from here, but I shall grab it shortly. I don't even know where I put it. There's only 11 books. I went to a sale where their books were, was it four for $1? Yeah, and I bought 12 books. So what's here? 3, 5, 9, 10, 11, 12. Shocking. Herbert H. Wernicke, Christmas Customs Around the World. And it almost seems that every book on Christmas that I find is in this state. This is actually my old middle school here. What year is this from? I think this is Roman numerals. Yeah, I think 19, I'll say 1959. Because IX is usually what? 9? I'll say 1959 or 60. I don't know what year it is. Pretty cool little title page. The origins, legends, and customs of Christmas. Whimsical illustration. Who did the illustrations? Does it even say? Probably said it on the cover. It doesn't. Doesn't say. The author. Maybe the author did them. Barbara the saint was elected of God. She gave her bread to the poor. Her miserly father rebuked her and threatened her with his sword. When he caught her with the bread in her lap, she cried unto God in her fear. God turned the sword in her father's hand into a crochet needle. When her father demanded to see what she concealed in her lap, she cried until God for help, and the bread in her lap turned to roses. It's pretty unusual. Venezuela. For Venezuelans, as for the nationals, hey, look, Peru. I know a guy named Peru. Peru. There's none for Guatemalans. Let me see. I know a man named Julio, but there apparently was no Christmas in fucking Guatemala. Maybe that was in a different part of Latin America. Dominican, no, everywhere but Guatemala. Poor motherfuckers. Let's see if there is one for Guatemala. I'm not looking through all this shit. Jelly Laps and Chocolates. I've already covered this in all the books I own short, so you can go and look over that. But it's a humorous verse collection, which I've been working on for years, getting just random. I only really like the elaborate ones with the dust jacket because it shows that the writer honestly believed in what they were doing. But yeah, these are bad poems by a non-poet, but Junket. The station wagon's loaded and the kids can hardly wait. We start our expedition now before it gets too late. We drive a while, at last arrive. The car stops, out they jump to look for treasures others left here at the city dump. Brilliant shit, right? There's I found with Frankenstein mass market paperbacks is that and I guess in trade paperbacks and hardcovers as well, is that the fucking artwork is really emo. This guy looks like he's in a screamo band. Mary Wollstonecraft Shelley. But yeah, almost all the art for Frankenstein books is really bad. Look at this guy. He's even got the fucking tattooed tears. Is that a tattooed tear or is that a scar? I can't see it, bruv. Can you see it? Man or monster, when Victor Frankenstein discovers the secret of life, he sets out to create a living human being, salvaging limbs and bones from graveyards and slaughterhouses. The young scientist is caught up in the glory of his dream. Not until the thing takes its first breath and opens its ghastly yellow eyes does Frankenstein realize he has created not a man, but a monster. I still haven't read the book. Actually, let's segue right into this since I think I have at least 15 copies now of Frankenstein. Never read a single page of it. This is a Penguin classic. Obviously, same book. There is something at work in my soul which I do not understand. Captain Walton and Frankenstein. Year was it written? 1814. She met and soon fell in love with the then unknown Percy Bysshe Shelley, and in July they eloped to the continent. Wait, his first wife committed suicide? Didn't he burn to death? Percy Shelley? Percy Bysshe Shelley, whatever the fuck his name was. Didn't he burn to death? Or he drowned, didn't he? What was it? I think he drowned. I read it in the Funeral Customs book. All right, let's get back to this one. Before the Golden Age by Asimov, edited by Asimov. And this is a fat tome. Like I said, for, what was it, $4 for $1? For 25 cents, I couldn't pass it up. It's got those pages that are miscut, which I always hate and usually clip, but since I don't really care about this book. And also it's got different things, but it's an ex-library book from Tigard, Oregon. A science fiction anthology of the 1930s. I'm not sure why. This must be a reprint, or maybe not. To Sam Moskowitz and myself. Let's see who's in there. Edmund Hamilton, Neil R. Jones, Captain S.P. Meek. Again, Meek. Clifford Simic. Never heard of any of these people. Then again, I'm not into sci-fi, so why would I have heard of any of these peoples? See if there's anything good in this book besides just text. I was hoping for a few illustrations. As you can see, it's got a library binding, which is what they did to old school library books and sometimes public library books to lengthen their existence. This has worked. Some of them have pretty good designs. I don't know what the hell this is supposed to be. Just some blobby thing, but as you can see, the book's not in very good shape. The Importance of Being Earnest in Other Plays by Oscar Wilde. Never read. Did I read some Wilde? I think I might have read some of Dorian Gray. I do mean to read Dorian Gray, even though about 600 people have read it on YouTube, which is the only time I read. Even though I have 10,000 books, I only read on here. It's the only thing that makes me read. Normally, I just not read books. I collect them, but don't read them. But there you go. The Partisan Rangers, Confederate States Army. And this is obviously one of those reprint sort of deals. I mean, you couldn't put a more generic cover on this. What year was this originally published? The Partisan Papers, or the Partisan Rangers of the Confederate States Army, originally published in 1904. Brigadier General Adam R. Johnson, edited by William J. Davis. Republished 1979. Well, I thought this was a more modern one, but maybe it is. Maybe it's a republishing of the republished. My motive in publishing this work has been twofold. First, to pay merited tribute to the Kentucky boys, who most of them gently born and nurtured, left home, family, friends, fortune behind them, enlisting in my command, fought for the cause of the South. I do not dwell on these sacrifices. It is enough to say that the young Kentuckians cheerfully bore every privation and freely offered their lives in defense of principles they held to be right. And for the sake of the cause they loved, the story of their services is my tribute. This story of their services is my tribute to their memories. May it not also be regarded as a minor contribution to the history of the war between the states. Right. A Discovery of Witches, which it turns out I already had a copy. I thought I did. And then Shadow of Night. I believe this is part of a trilogy. I could be wrong. Book 2 and Book 1, so I don't know how many books are in this series. Let's see if there's there's usually a title thing. Doesn't say. Oh, what's this? Old Halloween? No, it's a reproduction. Halloween in Greenfield Village. Halloween greeting. I really hate when people do reproduce those old cards. All right, let's see if this one has a. What's this? Read the finale in July, A Book of Life. Book 1 of the All Souls trilogy. All right, so obviously the other book is Book of Life. The Book of Life. I don't know if it's worth anything, but I just got it because of the witches. I usually buy books on witches, even though witchcraft's a joke, but we're all a joke at the end, buddy. Mysteria Magica, Fundamental Techniques of High Magic. Denning and Phillips. I know there's people who believe in witchcraft. What the hell is this? Et Aksha, Equus, Niger, et qui seed. I'm doing a spell right now. What's this say? Oh, thou might prince. Why is Prince Niger? O thou mighty prince, majestic governor of the southern watchtower of the universe, behold me and behold the fourth seal whereon my hand is set. If anybody really believes in this butter churning bullshit, they really got some issues. Listen and appear to us in name of great Oceanus, by the earth-shaking Neptune's mace and Tethys' grave majestic pace, by hoary Nereus's wrinkled look and the Carpathian wizard's hook, by scaly Triton's winding shell, and old soothsaying Glaucus's spell, by Leucothia's lovely hands, and her son that rules the strands, by Thetis's tinsel-slippered feet, and the songs of sirens sweet. This signifying the universe, all images and vehicles, then, while breathing, ha! To trace the vertical. Hello, bruvs. Are you a witch? The Sub Rosa Nigra, the Aurum Salis, constellation of the worshipped. The three principles of the constellation are the male, the female, and that which is one aspect, the result of their union, and in another aspect is their origin. Right. I wonder if this is worth anything. Probably $8. This is working. I'm looking for a podcast to sleep through. Hey, there you go, buddy. I'm glad to be your fucking guide to slumbers. Detroit, Then and Now. I believe I already have this book. Let us fall asleep together now, bruv. Detroit, Then and Now. That's at the end of Detroit being the Paris of the West. That's when it became the Beirut of the Midwest. Introduction. 2001. This book's 24 years old. Jesus. There it is, the old Belle Isle Conservatory. Got some really old photos of this. Are you asleep, bruv? Rest, relax, put your head back and dream of little sheeps. Fold. I can't even talk. What right do I have to make a video when I can't even talk? Oh, I see. These are before and after. Looks exactly the same. Now, this does not look exactly the same. Look at those fucking beards. I don't know, big old fat bed. Come on. Today, the boulevard, it looks like shit. That looks classy, even though it looks like wood planks. There it is. The Fisher Theater. Rapping about the wolf who ate my mama sleep. I hate rap. What was this, bruv? The Hecker house was later occupied by Smiley Brothers. It is now home to a law firm. That's a nice fucking house. But even there, I mean, that looks regal, but look at there in the old photo. All those houses are absolutely brilliant. Now they're probably all fucking crumbling edifices. The Peninsular Car Company. This guy had a house this big with a Peninsular Car Company, which probably failed after 5 years. The Art Institute looks the same, but they had a roof back then. Oh, there it is. It's up there. Yeah, everything modern ruins architecture. Except for those old cars. First Congregational Church. That can't be the same fucking building. Same site, perhaps. That's a real letdown compared to that. Look at that thing. Maybe I should turn this. No, it still has a glare. Oh, look at this. Look at it. I mean, get rid of some of this scrub. Look at that place. Who's this fucking guy? Henry Ford III? Hey, it's ASMR. Accidental ASMR. Sounds like a fucking guy sawing with a dull saw. SAR. Society Brand Clothes. George and Henry. What is that? Is that beer? No, it's a fucking energy drink. What a terrible place we live in. I gotta get my energy drink. 5 of them a day, bruv. Nice winder. What's that called? A transom? I believe that is a transom. This place has actually been restored. I have not gone down to see it because I have better things to do than drive down and see a fucking building that was restored. Wagner Baking Company. That's a baking company? Jesus Christ. Look at that. Did have some bad bricks back then. 1915. Look at that, just for a baking company. Now is that Motor City Casino now? Jesus Christ. That really makes me sad, to be honest. This great building that used to bake things now is a fucking casino. There's Tiger Stadium, gone. Although they have the updated photo, it's now gone. Gone. That's Cass Tech High. Still alive. Look how thin it is. It's long school. You can see houses back there, and now you get this fucking ugly Roblox building. Disgusting. And that's a real sadness. Even they're saying, oh, shit, what's this? What is this shithole? The intersection of Clinton and Joseph Campo no longer exists, replaced by large housing developments and a city recreational center. That's great. Actually, it looks like it's been restored or something because that looks pretty rough back then. What is that? Entrance of Waterwork Parks. Oh, so it's still there. Someone stole the granite bust of Chauncey Hurlbut. I wonder if that's related to the Hurlbut, who was related to the Eberbrock Ward Pewabic pottery. There it is. This guy was a crazy son of a bitch. James Scott. You ever have any interest in Detroit? This guy was great. He hated... I can't remember who he was feuding with. I believe this guy built his house up like 2 stories just to block the sun from some other guy. And then he had tons of money. And even though he feuded with the city, he left it to the city. And then they built this thing, this monstrous fountain. I believe he was probably a racist or something too. I can't remember what the exact story was, but this guy was brilliant. He donated all of his money, but they could only spend it on like an elaborate fountain and not for anything to better the city. I guess that betters the city, but I think that thing fell into grand disrepair. Been to this place. Parents Creek, renamed Bloody Run in 1763, when an ambush by Chief Pontiac left 160 British dead. That's something not to be sorrowful about. It's a pretty crazy cemetery. No, that's disgusting. Get that off there. Graffiti. DM Ferry Company. All right, that's enough Detroit. Lastly, Weird Michigan. Mark Moran and Mark Skierman, authors of Weird U.S., present Weird Michigan. Your travel guide to Michigan's local legends and best kept secrets. Wait, so they wrote it but don't... Or they started the Weird U.S. series, but they handed it off to Linda Godfrey. Who's Linder? Linda Godfrey is a relentless researcher of the strange and a multimedia. Where does she live? That's what I want to know. Weird Michigan. Don't know. The baffling haunted Michigan. Trash Bag Eagle. That's what we should make more of these. That is pretty brilliant. He's made out of trash bags. But resumes his eagle-eyed watch over US 2 once the snow melts in the spring. Why can't we just make more sculptures out of these plastic bags? Do I got other books? I got hundreds of books, buddy. Thousands. You see, I even bought a headboard bed at the Salvation Army. See, I got tons of books in there and over there, but you can't see inside there because there's a corner. Also got crackers. Cracker. Don't ever use you for you. It's self-condemnation. All right, that's all. I got to get prepared for work. Eat me lunch. The Rolling Muff of Grosse Ile. A bizarre legend comes down to us from the little island of Grosse Ile, situated south of Motown, Detroit, you fuckface, at the entrance of the Detroit River. As the story goes, a middle-aged man grows tired of his frumpy wife and begins carrying on with a younger mademoiselle. Nothing too strange so far for our times, but our paunchy paramour lived in 18th century New France. He could not seriously consider divorce as an option. Even if he could separate from his wife, he did not want to separate from her money, so he concocted a plan: kill his wife, keep her fortune, and marry his sweetheart. He lured his wife to a swampy area of Grosse Ile and murdered her, sinking her body beneath the muck. She lost her fur muff during the struggle, and not wanting to leave behind a clue, the faithless husband backtracked to hunt it up. An 18th century muff had little in common with the modern diminutive hand warmer. As a wealthy bourgeois, our lady would have worn a large muff of ermine, fox, or sable. Many of the larger muffs covered about a third of their owners and incorporated a ribbon suspended from the neck to help support the muff and free up the wearer's arms. Returning to our crime scene, the murderer finally spotted the muff and reached to pick it up. Just before he could reach it, however, the muff rolled away from him. Startled but not deterred, he bent down and reached for it again. Once more, it rolled away. The man continued to chase the muff, as most men do for a while, but it always rolled beyond his grasp. Then, in a shocking turnaround, the muff began to chase the husband. It chased him right off Grosse Ile. The ordeal so terrified the killer that he fled back to Detroit and confessed his crime. The muff continued rolling around Grosse Ile, each turn spewing forth the stench of rotting death. Several victims of rolling muff sightings returned bearing the stench of the grave of the peasants. Such a fate befell one of the Tremblay brothers, who came back from a fishing trip to Gros Isle. He, with more than just the story of being chased, the unmistakable odor of rotting flesh, gave silent but convincing testimony to their tale. Like so many of the other legends of French Michigan, accounts of the malodorous muff have petered out as the centuries roll by. One tale similar to those above emerged from the Prohibition era, when many smuggled Canadian liquor into Detroit. Two men landed on Gros Isle with a shipment of the goods, only to be turned back by the olfactory persuasion of the rolling muff. By all accounts, Gros Isle remains today a peaceful and sweet-smelling community, untroubled by the rolling muff. But we say, may it ever roll on. All right. That's all, bros.